Hey, it's Big T. Today I'm going to tie a stonefly variation. I think a lot of us, most of us that have fished for a while have at some point in time used a girdle bug or a Pat's rubber legs and had success with that fly. This is a similar fly with a little bit of a twist. This is a .30 lead wire. I'm going to wrap enough to cover about a little over half the hook shank. I want a little bit of space above the hook eye and behind or in front of the bend of the hook. It's a size 10 3x nymph or streamer hook. This is .20 lead wire, and I'm going to come in right a few turns above where I started that 3/0 so that it kind of puts a taper on this, and I'll be wrapping that up and stopping short of where that 3/0 wire is. Now, wire has a tendency to roll, move, shift on a hook, so I'm going to bring that back and take a little Zappa gap and just brush on right here in that area that I will be sliding the lead back up on. And that will hold that into place once that sets. Then we'll take some 70 denier. This is Danville black, and I'll begin to wrap up and over and behind that wire, further securing that down for us. Trim off the excess there. So that'll be our weight on the fly. You can use a bead if you'd like. I like having the extra bulk of the lead to add to the profile of this fly. Then I'm going to take, in this case I'm going to use some fine black round rubber legging material. You can use anything. Spanflex makes some good stuff. I've got a couple versions of barred legging material now. Grizzly barred legging materials. There's all kind of stuff out there that's awesome that you can play around with. What I'm doing is I'm cutting four pieces of this, approximately, I'm going to say a little over 2 inches long maybe. The way I like to put my legs on, I like to come around the thread, wrap it around, kind of pinch it to see that my ends here are even, and then I'm going to wrap that up and put that on first. If you notice, I'm back here behind the eye. I want some room to work because I'm going to take one leg at a time, keeping it on the side of the hook and securing it down. Then I'll wrap back, pull my other leg up to the side of the hook, and wrap forward, and now I'll secure and come down. That's going to keep these guys where I want them. So I got my front antenna in. We'll come to the very back of the hook behind the leg, or the lead rather, and I'll be doing the same thing with my rubber leg. Even it up again so that the tips are the same, and I'm going to bring it down and bring one around in front. So I want this leg secured to the side of the hook, come back and then bring this leg over and secure it to the side of the hook so that they splay out the way I want. I like the fine rubber legs versus the medium round on a fly like this because there's a big difference in the action. So right there I just kind of wrapped underneath to kind of prop those back tails up. Alright, so here's the twist. Typically we're going to use a chenille, and it's real popular to use the variegated chenilles, and I do love those. It's a pretty buoyant material to me. So to add a little bit of flavor, I'm going to tie in a piece of black and a piece of olive mohair yarn. This is what a lot of people will use on leech patterns. And then I'm going to wrap my thread back up just to maybe the 2/3, in between half and 2/3 way. I'm going to take these two pieces and put one over the other, almost like I'm kind of braiding. I think braid, maybe you get 3 pieces. My hair was never long enough to do that. I did have some pretty cool wings in the 80s though. A little curl in the back. Alright, we're going to come around now and just wrap this, and if you see, this gives that fly a similar look to that variegated chenille with the color combination. Once I get to the thread, wrap over and secure that, and then wrap in front a couple of times. Lay that off to the side, and I'll take my other pair of rubber legs at this point. Same method. I'm going to come in a few times, secure it to the side. Take my next piece of rubber, wrap it around the thread. Come up and secure those. And I'm not super concerned about where these things, how they're placed, because we're gonna be able to manipulate that a little bit more with the mohair yarn. Then I'm wrapping back up close to the hook eye, not quite all the way there. So we'll take our twisted mohair yarn now. I'm going to pull, actually I'm going to go behind that once. Now I'm going to go in between the two legs, and the back leg I want to make sure I'm keeping those where I want them, because that's going to secure those. And that's in place where I want it. Not the easiest fly to tie, just with all the legs going around. And then we're going to come in front of this second leg. Once we've done that, we're going to wrap over the mohair yarn twice, and then in between the yarn and the hook eye, these legs are, you are able to position those. This is where you want to be careful. Move stuff out, make sure you're not cutting your legs off. If you don't like where those are situated, you can move them around. I'm going to peel them back with my fingers, wrap backwards to make sure I have all that secured real well up front. And then, unless, like most flies that I'll do a whip finish on, this particular fly I'm going to do a half hitch on. So I'm going to use a half hitch tool, and I'm going to come underneath my antenna up front and behind the hook eye and do a couple of those. And once I feel like I've got that good and secure, I'll rearrange anything I feel like I need to rearrange. Leave the legs whatever length you like. I'm going to leave these a little bit long on this particular bug just to give it a lot of action. The more you fish this, the buggier it'll get, the more that mohair you're on. As you can see, it's already starting to poke out and add bristles. So that's a great option for you if you're a fan of the Pats. It's the Mohair rubber-legged stonefly. Hope you enjoyed that. Tie a couple up, get them out on the river. Subscribe to my channel and visit my store for these materials and more.